Welcome to one of the most dangerous, one of the most unpredictable, one of the most anticipated races of all season for the 1-Up Turbo Truck Series. It only happens once a year here. This is Talladega. For 38 laps, these drivers will take on the high banks and the wicked speeds of the Talladega Superspeedway. Who will master the draft? Who can handle 3 and sometimes 4 wide racing? And who can avoid the big one en route to a potentially big victory with only 4 races remaining, including this one, to round out the season for 2023. And alongside me to bring you all the action once again is Ryan Griffin with you for today's broadcast. And this is the one. This is what everybody was fearing entering the playoffs, is this race right here. And for good reason. A lot of guys with a lot of concerns entering this race. There's a lot on the line for these guys, but they gotta go at this head on.
Yeah, Talladega it's going to be a nail biter. It's going to be edge of your seat, and that's not just for the fans. The drivers are going to be on edge, and because one wrong move here could pretty much, with only a couple of races left in the season, could pretty much doom your shot at a championship. And we've seen moments already this season that kind of define and put people in position to win the championship or be a player for the championship. Well, they could be taken out just as easy here.
Yeah, you can't always win a race early on here, but you can always lose a race early on here. That is for sure. And with the threat of the big one lurking around every corner, this is going to be something these guys are going to have to take a cautious but aggressive approach if they're going to hope to win today. And as we can bring you the starting lineup for today's 38-lap race, 40 trucks for this one. The playoff drivers are honestly scattered throughout the field quite evenly. We've got 2 in the top 5, one starting in second place alongside our first-time pole sitter, Josh Gibson, in the 09 machine, trying to see if he can convert that into a maiden win. But there's a lot of hungry drivers behind them. You got last week's winner and championship favorite Kev Shearer lining up 16th, middle of the field. And then you have last year's winner here, Brandon Smith, the rookie, out of King's Motorsports. He starts all the way back in 33rd today. He's got a lot of work to do to try and make it back-to-back.
But if there's one track, though, that starting at the back can not so much be a detriment, it's Talladega. Coming from the back here can be easily done. The only thing is you have to watch that you're not caught up in something else, not of your own doing. So just because these guys are starting out back does not mean that they're going to stay there much of the day or even, for a couple of laps. They may be at the front before we know it. It's just the nature of Talladega.
Absolutely. So, with 40 trucks lined up on the grid and with 38 laps in front of them, we are ready to bring you some heart-in-your-mouth action from Talladega Superspeedway. This is the 1-Up Turbo Truck Series from the biggest track of them all, and the green flag is mere moments away, so stay tuned. You're not going to want to miss a second of this. With Gibson on the inside, Chastain on the outside, getting ready for 38 wild laps at Talladega. The green flag in the air, and we're underway at Talladega. It's pretty even for the first few rows, but you can already see a couple guys. Nick Breeding's the first one to duck out of line mid-pack. Villalobos in the 6th further back. But for the most part, it's 2x2 for the most part in the opening stretch. But you see a couple guys up on the top of the racetrack. Kev Shearer and Ricky Freeman Jr. trying to get that third lane going.
Well, I'm more or less watching is the 2 trucks on the inside that are kind of almost similarly painted, the 38 and 48, as we got shuffling down the back, as we're going to go 3 wide now into turn 3. The leader still by himself at the moment in one lane, but they're 3 wide pretty much from him on back as they come off at turn 4.
Yeah, can the rookie pole sitter lead the first lap, or will it be a different rookie lining up his shot? Because now we got 3 of them, 3 wide for the lead at Talladega. For the trial will they go, and it looks like it's going to be the 38 of Max O'Quinn who leads the first lap from Josh Gibson and Jensen Nomina. But now it's Nomina trying to forge out in front in the 65 with a push from the 48 of Jeremy Frey. Nomina qualified 3rd in this race. He's had a strong few races as of late, but has yet to convert one into a win. Could it come here?
Yeah, we'll see. Is there's still 3 abreast back in the pack there as they hit the back stretch and come into 3. The 38 is going to maintain the point as can't quite see who that is. I can't quite see the number of who took over second
That's
place
DJ
there. The
Curtis,
MGM
the
truck.
22 truck.
That's Curtis. Curtis at the second as they're going to go 3 wide, it looks like, here for third. And Noman and, I think that's, can't quite see who that was, but it looked like they were almost rubbing on one another through the tri-oval there.
Yeah, that can often be the case at Talladega. The close quarters action doesn't stop, whether you're at the front of the field or at the very back, as it looks like O'Quinn is starting to extend his lead. You don't want too big a lead out here, or else the field will just run you down and blow you over. So these guys just got to manage their gap, keep someone behind them for draft, and hopefully by the end of this race, they'll be in contention for a win.
Yeah, the draft, the field punch is such a big hole through the air. If somebody gets out by themselves, as you said, they're just going to get swallowed up. So you want to watch how big a gap you have. It looks like we're going to have another lead change here. Curtis looking to the inside. I don't know if he's going to get the 38 before the line. He might actually. I think he is. Curtis going to lead that lap.
With help from the 47 of Nick Breeding, who now takes him down the inside, but Curtis is able to hold him off. Max O'Quinn with Elijah Ironhouse up on top, trying to keep the outside lane going, but it's less organized up there. That should allow Curtis to get a little bit of an advantage down the backstretch, if Breeding and the 05 of Harvey can get to him.
But now you see why we say with this kind of racing, why it doesn't matter where you start, because the way they're fanning out and the lead changes we've had already, it really is just a conveyor belt of cars, or in this case trucks, a conveyor belt of trucks throughout the day, and you're just hoping you're the guy that is at the head of that conveyor belt when it matters most. Looks like Breeding is slotted into second, and I believe that's the 05 sitting there in third.
It is, yes.
Ironhouse on the inside trying to take over fourth.
And it looks like the top 10 separated by only half a second here at Talladega. It can be even closer than that when we get to the end of this race, so keep your eyes peeled for that. However, DJ Curtis continues to lead the way. Nick Breeding holds steady in second. I wonder if he's going to try and make a move now that Chris Harvey is ducked back in line. Will he duck out? Yes, he will. 47 down to the inside, Breeding under Curtis for the lead, but I think Curtis has him covered.
And Curtis with a slight gap. Again, you don't want too big a lead here on the Superspeedway, but a little gap is all Curtis needs at the moment.
So far, anyway, as he comes through the tri-oval to complete lap number 5, Curtis holds the lead. Breeding still trying to make that inside line work on the 22, but they back off a little bit going into the corner, try to prevent something drastic from happening, as O'Quinn tries to fight his way into the bottom groove, and he does, underneath the 05 and right behind the 83. But you're going to see that all day long as these trucks let off a little bit or even drag the brakes going into turn 1 on the bottom. That could be either a fuel-saving measure or it could be a preventative attempt to keep massive accidents from occurring in that spot.
And also, it seems like we kind of sorted ourselves out too at this pack from the initial start of the race. I see some double file, but not necessarily the 3 wide we were seeing earlier. As it looks like now, I believe Breeding is now finally going to get Curtis here. He's got the help, although Ironhouse almost looks like he tried to make it 3 wide there between the two of them.
Yeah, but
he's going to take over second.
Yeah, this time Breeding is able to clear Curtis for the lead, and Curtis now slips back to a battle for third with Max O'Quinn. But, Alan, it looks like we had an issue we didn't report on earlier. It's O'Quinn's teammate, Kyler Sustry, in the 39. He had a tire going down, it looks like, and he had to make an unscheduled pit stop. That'll cycle him out to all by himself, and they'll probably catch him to lap him within the next couple of laps or so, depending on where he is on the racetrack.
Yeah, that's kind of another detriment to the plate racing is once you lose that pack, you're on your own. It's like putting a sail on a speedboat. It's just gonna catch you and slow you down, and when that pack catches you, they're gonna catch you and gobble you right up. So
yeah, so you see
it's unfortunate to see.
Yeah, you see the 39's halfway down the backstretch. The field now entering the back. So I wouldn't be surprised if they caught him within the next, say, 5 to 8 laps, but it's going to take a little bit. I think he actually already is a lap off the pace, so this would be to catch him to put him 2 down. But look at this, Austin Runkle in the 66 trying to make a move on Elijah Ironhouse. He's got a push from Curtis, and Grantley King, who had that horrible crash at Michigan last time out, he took this week off to recover himself nicely. He's making a push into the top 5.
Yeah, there's the pack. Like I said, it's starting to sort itself out now. We're starting to see some different players coming up here that weren't here at the initial start. I noticed the 9 is in there, and Aiden Smith is now in the middle of this as well.
Yeah, and he's the highest-ranked driver in points. Without a top 10 this season, can Aiden Smith get that elusive result with only 4 races remaining? As here comes Runkle, he's cleared Curtis and O'Quinn. He's going to try and scoot down the inside of Nick Breeding to try and take the lead away here on lap number 9.
Meanwhile, the 38 got to tuck in third. We try to tuck into third in front of Curtis, but it looks like Curtis is instead they're going to split off. One goes high, one goes low. Curtis going to try to see if he can stick with the back bumper that's 66, as he's got the 9, and I believe that's the 46 behind me.
Yes, it is. Gentry Shoy.
Yeah, they're tucked up on the inside. A couple trucks tucked up on the high side. And we're going to do the tango. Meanwhile, Breeding is up here by himself, but he's going to catch this lap truck.
And it's not going to help him very much, is the 39. That's not going to help Nick Breeding out a bunch. Although, he does get to the inside now, and it'll be interesting to see. Will Curtis be able to capitalize, or will Runkle be able to draft with the 39 past him again? We're about to find out, because coming off of turn 4, it's still Breeding with the lead, but Runkle is right there.
I mean, this is kind of where you got to be careful. We got one lap truck here. The field's going to go 3 wide, actually, behind Breeding and Runkle, but 3 wide. We're back to 3 wide again, and we got to be careful. And again, the slow truck on the high lane there, yes. trying to maintain the lead lap, even if they get swallowed into this back. If you can just kind of put yourself in a position to get back on the lead lap, should something happen. Which, with the way this pack is packed up, you never know.
But look who's come to challenge. Aiden Smith in the 9. You talked about him. He's up to 2nd place now, just right behind Nick Breeding, trying to make something happen. Much has been said about Aiden Smith and his future in this series. He doesn't have a ride lined up for next year. He's been doing great in the Nitro National car he's been driving part-time. Wonder what's going to happen with this driver going forward. We hope he'll be able to stick around, because with runs like this, he'll be able to turn a couple heads.
Yeah, it's like you almost want to say, what's the way to kind of prove yourself? Well, you go out there and try to win, and you haven't seen a lot of that out of this 9 team this year, as you said. He's yet to have a top 10 finish this year, but
not for so a lack far of today, effort, they're at least he's had some great.
Yeah, like I say, they're definitely put the work in. At least from the early part of today, it looks like they're definitely going to be hoping to change that. But we'll see how this race plays out. Meanwhile, Curtis did get around Smith and is back into 2nd behind Breeding, with the lap truck between himself and Smith.
Because remember, Aiden Smith had a fantastic run at Michigan going before a strategy gamble went wrong. He went a lap down and charged his way all the way up to 2nd on the road. So he had the speed to win that race. It's just circumstance did not play in his favor. But here comes the 22 now with help from Aiden Smith. Again, they let off going in the 1. I think that might be a measure to save a little gas, because it's a bit touch and go if these guys are able to make it all the way on a single tank. We hope they're able to, because we want to see more of this racing.
Yeah, and there's one truck. I noticed him in shot, kind of at the back of the one shot. We talked about him kind of starting. I think he started out back originally. Well, he started 16th, but Kev Shear, last week's winner and the points leader. And with a couple of races to go, we got to start focusing on that battle, the championship battle. And Shear is quietly working his way up through there. I think he's just knocking on the edge of the top 10 at the moment. Meanwhile, Breeding out front, he's got the lap truck. We got to keep in mind the 39 is a lap down, or 10 lead lap down as he races with this pack.
He's actually 2 laps down now. He's trying to get one of them.
Or 2 laps down. Okay, so he's trying to get one of them down. And then you got these guys up here. Dyson is at one line, single file. I think they're going to eat up this 47 if they can get to him. But at the same time, that we talked about the lap truck being kind of a detriment to breeding. At this point right now, it's his best friend. It's an extra truck in the way, an extra truck that the guys that are chasing you have to try to navigate around, and it could be as much beneficial as it is hurting you. So
yeah, it's what we like to call in one-up racing. It's what we like to call the buffer. We have a car or truck in between yourself and the next guy behind you. We often talk about the buffer cars at the super speedways. It always seems to work out this way, whether they mean for it to or not. But you can see it now. Sustry's pushing the crud out of Nick Breeding right now, pushing him straight through to the lead. And what a big lead they've built up right now in this race. And but Sustry's trying to make a move under him here, trying maybe to get his lap back, perhaps.
Maybe that was the whole point of why I pushed him out. Push him out there to try to make the move on him before the pack comes back to you. So, Breeding, I'm sure is it's a catch-22 for Breeding, because it's like, yeah, you get the lead out there, but the problem is the pack gets this great run and comes back to you. So
yeah, and honestly, you want to be on that top going into turn one, because we've noticed this throughout. On the bottom, they love to blow it up. Oh, and Breeding and Curtis almost make contact in the one. That could be a sign of things to come later on in this race. We're fast approaching halfway, and at the rate they're going, it's just a matter of wait and see to see what comes out of this, as Curtis swoops out in front to take the lead off of Breeding.
Yeah, and it's interesting to see how this is going to play out. As I said, the shuffle that goes on, and you never know who could be at the front at the end of this thing. I mentioned Kev Shear, who started 16th. He's knocked his way into the top 10, and now he's trying to knock on the door of the top 5. So it's starting mid-pack or back-of-pack here really does not necessarily hurt you. It's just you got to try to avoid the early incident if there is an early incident.
And considering the Superstar race here in the spring, the only real indicator we have of performance at this racetrack, there was a monumental crash on lap 3, so it's just a matter of wait and see for something to happen. So far, nothing's happened, which is a positive. We like to see a lot of green flag action of the super speedways. But here comes DJ Curtis now. I think Sustry, he's got a problem, because he's slowing up in a big way, much more than the others around him. I think he's due for pit road. And there he goes, off into the pits. Something slowed up that 39. Not quite sure what, but he's got an issue with that truck, and he's pulled it to pit lane, so another tough pill to swallow for Kyler Sustry and the 39 team.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but a day that was already not going great for him has not gotten any better.
No. But it's helped Kev Shearer.
I mentioned him already, and here he is again, Kev Shearer. I said going into the season, I really thought that this team and this driver were ready to make a statement going into this year, and while they kind of done both, they made the statement and won races, and obviously the winner of last week, and currently point leader.
Yeah, they got 4 wins this season, leading the points quite handsomely, and now running second in the race, leading all the playoff drivers. So this is turning into Kev Shearer's title to lose, although we're just about to cross halfway, and it's in the second half when business really starts to pick up.
Yeah, and it's funny because I told him jokingly, I think maybe my win record might still be safe, but nope, Kev Shearer's just kind of shattered that. So
we got a smoker, and it's Bronson Minnick, one of the playoff contenders we were talking about, the 91. He's slowing in front of the pack. He gets hit by his teammate, touches off a big crash on the back straightaway. Chastain's upside down. Several trucks involved in this massive pile up down the back straightaway. Bronson Minnick, Phil Lobos involved, Mac Johnson, James Ellison in the 30, all of whom. Oh, and he gets tagged by Krastev in the 99. Oh, what a big one to end this first half of this race. We've got caution on the speedway for the first time today.
And that's unfortunate for both the team trucks to have, not just the one blow up, but the one blow up right in the path of the other one,
Absolutely. That took out half of the New England Cruisers team right there, Minnick and Chastain. And those were two of them racing for the championship as well.
And poor Minnick was trying to recover from the bad starting spot, had started 38th.
He almost made his way to the top 10 as well. He was doing a great job. But unfortunately, just goes to show you, you're never safe at Talladega, whether you're leading or whether you're in 15th, where Bronson Minnick was. And we start the second half of the race at Talladega under the caution flag for quite the big pileup down the back straightaway, going into 3. Field cycles around on the... We've already got 5 trucks listed as out of the race. Ellison, A.F. Walsh, Mac Johnson, pole sitter Josh Gibson. He will not get that first career win today. And Francois Chastain, all of whom listed as out. I expect Bronson Minnick to join them there momentarily. And Damian Krastev as well, but... And it looks like everybody's going to try and stretch their fuel. None of them are coming to pit road for that insurance. A few of them towards the back are, but I think they're more focused on repairing the damage they sustained in that crash. So the field was already spread out quite a bit. You see Minnick's running on the running with a few other playoff contenders, Brandon Smith and Earl Sear, and then as he comes off of turn 2, the engine just detonates on him.
But it's interesting because it looks like he as soon as he ducks out with Smith, like he was going to follow Smith there, is when the engine grenaded and poor Chastain up and over. 6 tore up. Our pole sitter, I think, got tore up, or unless that's
that was Gibson in the 09. And then James Ellison is running this 4th truck for Crossroads Racing for the rest of this season. He's running it for the first time, and he's all torn up today.
Yeah, a couple of kind of hard licks. I noticed the 99 took a really good lick there, but again, it's unfortunate the engine grenaded, but to have it grenade where it did, I think is what really...
So Josh Gibson was running middle of the pack. He was trying to keep it steady, and we're looking at Chastain now, and yeah, nowhere for these guys to go. It's just a massive blockage of the racetrack. You got nowhere to go once the track gets blocked. You either got to slow down enough and hope you can come to a stop, or you just got to find a hole, and none of them did.
Unfortunately, that's the up and down nature of Dega. You know, 1 minute you can... Again, look at the 09, you know, 1 minute you have a great day, pole sitter, and the next minute you're caught up in a mess, not of your own doing, so...
Yep.
It's the unfortunate nature of Dega.
It's the nature of the beast here at Talladega. And just like that, we have so many listed as out. James Ellison, A.F. Walsh, Damian Krastev, Mac Johnson, Josh Gibson, Chastain, Minnick, and Paul Villalobos as well. All knocked out of the race as a result of this massive crash that brought up the first caution of the day. And Sustry this is going to be a big break for him, actually. He jumped all of them. He's going to jump all of them in the running order, and he'll have a better result for sure than he was going to finish last if this race had continued, but now he's going to pick up some extra points.
And that can be for a team like that that's having a bad day. Any element of positivity can help. So, what may be an unfortunate deal for others still is a positive for you in the end. You know.
Yeah, and we're getting a report. You see this 98 coming out of the pits. This is going to be... You talk about teams having bad days. Hearing the reports, this day is going to be very bad for Iguazao the rest of the race. He has no 4th gear in that thing, and that at Talladega is a death sentence.
Yeah, you might as well just pull that truck into the garage at this point, because... I mean, on the one hand, it's like you're hoping for something like what just happened to happen, more attrition, but not having 4th gear here, you might as well just put it in the garage, you know?
Well, if the thing is, if he wants more attrition, it better not come at his hands, because that would just be poor sportsmanship. I hope that 98 is able to stay out of the way for the rest of the day if they decide to keep him out there. But that is going to be a miserable rest of the race for Iguozao and that 98 team for sure. But I hope we get the 1 to go signal this time. And look at all these new contenders up here. Nelson Reeves makes an appearance in the top 10 for the first time. Art Sarker and the 51's up here. Look at all, and we don't have many trucks left in this field, but a lot of them racing for a championship. And at the end of the day, that is what these guys are focused on. If they can get a good run here to close out this wild card race, they should be in much better shape heading to North Wilkesboro.
Well, yeah, the interesting thing is as we get ready to go here, if we got the 1 to go, is you mentioned Reeves. That's another truck. I mentioned Shear earlier coming through the pack. So, the players we were used to seeing be at the front, even though they may have qualified, mid-pack and the back, they're starting to work their way to the front. The cream always rises, as they say. So we'll have to see. We'll have to see what happens here in these final, basically 15 laps here in this restart.
It's going to be a fun one for sure, as DJ Curtis will be your leader coming to the restart. He's never won in the Turbo Truck Series. This is only his 4th start in the series, but he's gotten top 10s in every single one of his previous 3 appearances. This is a star of the future if his recent form is anything to go off of. And if he can emulate what Brandon Smith did last year and get that maiden win at Talladega, that would be a springboard for his future success.
Yeah, who knows? Maybe we could be talking about DJ Curtis being maybe not exactly in the position that Smith was this year. We could talk about Curtis coming in and running here and being the point leader at the end of the regular season,
Wouldn't put it past him, especially with the Fingai Saitomi equipment he's got. That if this team is coming back next year with Curtis behind the wheel, whether that's in the 22 he's currently driving or the 92, that's yet to be seen. But if this team comes back with any of the form they have in the playoffs this year, they are going to be a scary force to be reckoned with. But all our focus now is back to the race at hand, because the pace truck is ready to pull off onto pit road and leave us in the hands of DJ Curtis, who's going to take us to the restart with about 15 laps to go.
You've got your drinks and your popcorn by you, because it's going to get wild here. 15 to go, and it's go time now. There's no holding back now. You have to give it everything you got and try to get to the front as quickly as you can, just to make sure you're up there. Green flag in the air, and we're back green. 15 to go. The lap truck to the inside.
Looks like Breeding's the first one to jump to the bottom to try and get around. No. So, actually, what I think he might be trying to do is put Shearer and King up on the top of the racetrack, send them to the back of the line so that he has a better chance at it himself. But and they might be onto something here, because that outside line is a little less organized than that group on the bottom. Although DJ Curtis is holding a steady lead, that could change at any minute.
I think it's also them trying to get rid of the lap car, so the lap car won't play a factor in this.
Yeah, but his teammate's right there. I think he wants to help as much as he can, but there's only so much you can do when your other teammate is 3 laps down.
Yep, exactly.
But it's DJ Curtis who continues to lead at Talladega. We've got 14 laps to go, and it's just going to get a lot more exciting from here on out, because looking at this field, the top 5 as they crossed the line had never won a turbo truck race before. So odds are we could get a first-time winner here. The odds are pretty good, but as long as that 02 is up there, he's always in contention.
Come through 3 and 4, come around here, it'll be 13 to go. This time by. Lap truck still second truck in line. That's a lap truck. The battle is really right now Curtis leading, then Breeding, then the 27, and then I don't know how they continue to do it, but that 02 of Kev Shear right there, top 5, right there in the mix yet again. I think it's pretty much safe to say that they are they're definitely the contenders for the championship here with a couple of races to go.
And Earl Sear is nowhere even close. You see him back there in that 3 truck just outside the top 10. He is yet to really make an impression on this race, but not like what Kev Shearer has done. This 02 is well on his way to giving Kings Motorsports a send-off championship. But I would keep my eye on this 27 as well. He wants to prove that he's back to full health after that big crash at Michigan. And so far, he's doing a fantastic job running in 3rd. That would be a career best finish for him.
Yeah, and then but we can't give it anybody yet. We still got 12 laps to go, and who knows what can happen here. Although I think Curtis's best friend, again, maybe the lap truck, just kind of in the mix. Although it seems almost as if Breeding is trying to use that lap truck as an aid to himself to catch the 22.
Yeah, but I mean, you're absolutely right. DJ Curtis is really hoping that 39 stays in line with, in other words, not what he's doing right now, trying to unlap himself. He's got to realize it's, yeah, and he backs off. I think that's just to save more fuel, although I don't know why the 39 would need to do that, considering he's been in the pits a few times today. But here comes Breeding to the inside, trying to get the lead back from the 22. What a battle.
Excuse me, 11 to go.
Yeah, what a battle we've got going on.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I'm not talking as much, but man, it's just the battle we got right now. It's just someone's wrong. Is Shear going to take over second now from Breeding?
And these
now
two
the Toyotas are going to see if they can try to work together.
And these two are teammates, remember. Shearer and Breeding.
That's true. So they're going to see maybe they can work together to try to get to Curtis, but Curtis's best friend, again, is that lap truck between himself and that battle between Breeding and Shears. Breeding may lose the 3rd position here.
Yep, here comes Kev to the inside trying to get around the 39. Nothing doing on that occasion. We're coming to 10 laps to go here, and DJ Curtis is on a great path to victory here, but we can't give it to him just yet. There's still 10 more laps of exhilarating action at Talladega as Shearer finally clears the 39.
And meanwhile, I've noticed this too. All of the teammates, the 02 is there, the 47, the 18, and the 71 are all in play here. So you have 4 team trucks that could be able to team up here and snooker the field.
We're looking now at Aguazao. He is struggling out there in 3rd gear. Remember, he lost top gear after that during that caution period, so he is going to be he's going to be very much in the way by the time this race comes to an end. He might even get in the way twice at the slow rate he's going. You see his shadow on the left side of your screen. Kev Shearer takes the lead though from DJ Curtis. Let's see if he can hang on to it, or if the 22 has enough on that middle group. Oh, but here comes the 98. He's going to slow him up big time. That's going to let Curtis get a big lead.
Yeah, this little slow-up is going to hurt not just Kev Shearer, but the whole rest of the pack, as Curtis is way out there now. Well, now here's the risk, though. Curtis does not have any help, and he's going to have this whole pack coming back to him. So we'll just see what kind of run they get.
And that also holds up to 71. They've lost one of their teammates.
And poor Reeves, who, again, was another one that started out back, was making a decent run back up there, but the slow 98.
And it also gets rid of the lap truck,
impeded that. Yeah, and the lap truck also got impeded as well.
So no more lap traffic to get in the way of... And then look at that. Curtis has already been caught, as you see on the top left of your screen. Curtis has already been caught by the lead group. So it's only a matter of time, I feel. Looking back, yeah, they're all in a line again. It didn't take them long to catch the 22, and now we got some new players again. That's the 72 of Angel Gutierrez, trying to make a move 3 wide for the lead, going in the 3.
3 wide as we're coming to 7 laps to go, so looks like we got a little bit more of a race now as last week's winner and point leader Kev Shearer is going to take the lead now.
Now the question is, will DJ Curtis have enough time to get back up there and challenge for the win once again? Because now he's got a whole heap of traffic around him, and look who's shown up into the picture. It's Brandon Smith, the last year's winner here, at Talladega. He always shows up at the front when it matters most. Now he's in 6th place with 7 to go. 7 laps to go with a shot at a big win once again.
Yeah, and we'll have to see. It's starting to be like this 02 is just seems like no matter where they go, they have speed. But he's going to have to hold off some challenges here. We're coming to 6 to go. Pretty much at this point in the race, if we do see an incident, very well could be the end of the race. So you got to race it out and race hard and race until whatever flag ends the race.
And here comes Curtis now down the inside trying to get it back from Kev Shearer. You saw Grantley King trying to make a run at 2nd. Didn't make it happen. Now Curtis has to let off into the corner. That allows Shearer back to the lead. What a great back and forth it's been between Kev Shearer and DJ Curtis in this battle for Talladega glory.
Yeah, one's the point leader, and the one could be a prospective point leader for next year if he runs full time next year. So, who knows? This could be shaping up to be what we see the championship battle to be in the future. And
I'm sure Kev Shearer's stock, it's already high enough, but it's going up even more. He's getting offers left, right, and center for everywhere, from coming back to the trucks to the Nitro National Series for next year, and he's even getting considered for Superstar rides. He's got his pick of the litter right now, and even though Curtis does get by him for the lead here, Kev Shearer is one of the hottest prospects we've ever seen in this series.
As somebody who once had that said about him in this series, I concur.
And it looks like it's going to come down to these two now. We have 5 laps to go from Talladega. Down the backstretch they go. It's mostly single file except for that wad in the middle. Here comes Shearer down the inside, but Curtis blocks him off. This is exactly what DJ Curtis needs to do. Just go wherever the 02 does. Keep him from making moves. And as we come to 4 laps to go, this could be an opportunity right here.
And there goes, it looks like the 9 of Smith's going to try to look on the other Smith. He's not going to do anything there as they try to fan out again. And Curtis again, looks like Shearer's going to challenge him again on the inside, this time with the 27 behind him.
Well, we've got some new faces again. Tegan Fox, that bright blue 88 truck back there. We have not mentioned their name all day long. They finished top 10 at Daytona to start the season, albeit that it was a different ride, but they have what it takes on the Superspeedways, and it's showing. And here comes Gutierrez to the inside of Shearer, trying to take an upset win, coming to 3 laps to go.
It's Talladega. As we can see, anybody can be a player, and we're going to have basically what is about 10 cars, or 10 trucks or so that are under a blank as we come to 3 to go. But at the front, again, Curtis, Shearer. Who's going to get it done? There will be somebody else in this pack. Curtis is going to look to the, or Shearer's going to look to the inside.
Yeah, that might not be a valid strategy because Shearer had to back off in the 1. I'm not sure exactly why they're doing that. They should have plenty of fuel to make it to the end. Maybe they're just guaranteeing that. But off of turn 2, down the backstretch they go. DJ Curtis with a healthy lead, but he's getting pressure now from the 02 down his inside to try and take the lead coming to 2 laps to go. Truly incredible stuff we're seeing at Talladega. Kev Shearer doing whatever he can to hang on to get his 2nd win in a row, a record-breaking 5th career win in the Truck Series. It's all in sight, but he's got to hold off DJ Curtis, who's dominated this race for just 2 more trips around the Talladega Superspeedway.
Yeah, this battle's been great. It seems like the last few laps, these two have just been dicing it up as the pack coming behind him. Who's going to get the run when it matters most? And right now, Curtis has help. He's got 72 behind him.
Yeah, and they're backing up. They want to gang up on this 02 when the moment arises.
Well, they better watch it. They better watch it. Running out of time. Lap and a half to go. Curtis does kind of break free of that pack.
And he's going to try to chase down Shearer all by himself.
And we'll have to watch, too, because if these two get to race each other, that could pull more of the pack right back to him, too. So we'll see if Curtis can get to his inside at all here. We get to the trial. We'll come into the white flag this time.
And Shearer does cover him off for a moment, but not for long. Here comes Curtis, white flag in the air. We've got 1 lap to go from Talladega, and it's on for the lead. Kev Shearer, DJ Curtis, Brantley King sticking his nose in. Jensen Nomina swooping around the outside. Can he try and make something out of it? As they head down the back straightaway for the final time in this race, it's going to be a close one because I think
it's going to come down to whether Curtis can get that run on Shearer. I don't know if he's got enough momentum to get back to him. He's going to try.
And keep in mind, they're going to catch Egg Lozow again. He could play a big factor as they come into the trioval right here.
See what happens. Who's going to make the move around the lap truck when they catch it? Because they're going to catch him before the line.
Oh, they're going to catch him at a huge rate of knots. But he holds them up. He holds them all up. Coming through the trioval for the final time.
Curtis still has a look.
It's going to be a drag race. Curtis and Shearer at the line.
Give it to Curtis.
No, Kev
Shearer.
Kev Shearer at the line. Takes the checkered flag at Talladega. An impressive accomplishment. And in a series record margin of victory, 7 1/1000ths of a second separated DJ Curtis from his first career win today.
Tell you what, Talladega always lives up, and man, it delivered today. And I know that's probably not the way Kev wanted to win it, but man, that was a great finish to that thing.
Yep, Brantley King gets a career best finish in 3rd, Max O'Quinn likewise in 4th, and Ari Sarker another career best result in 5th. Great runs from those 3. Gutierrez fell to 6th at the end. Jensen Nomina fought his way to 7th. Aiden Smith does get that first top 10 of the season. He comes home 8th, had a breeding 9th, and Brandon Smith completing the top 10. But now, with that second win in succession, his 5th of the year, Kev Shearer has a whopping 49-point lead over the rest of the field as we head to North Wilkesboro next time out.
Kev Shearer just doing what he has to do to make the claim that I want this championship, and it's unfortunate that my win record is going to fall, but
it already has. He's just locked it down today.
Yeah, he just locked it down with this. That was an impressive race, and impressive for Shearer again. Again, he started 16th, and at the end of the day, he's the one that's hoisting the trophy.
So from Ryan Griffin and from myself as well, we'll see you guys next time out in a few weeks. Quite possibly what the opposite of Talladega, but it's sure to provide plenty of racing action in its own right. North Wilkesboro Speedway. For the first time, we take the trucks over there. It's going to be a lot of fun under the lights at North Wilkesboro. We'll see you guys in 2 weeks' time. But for now, congratulations to Kev Shearer on quite the dominating steal from DJ Curtis, who did dominate this race. But if DJ Curtis keeps racing the way he did today, wins will come his way sooner rather than later.